De Silva had promised me a 10 o'clock showcase. I had to make sure I was on stage and ready for my close-up.
Diga a Becker que vim para ele. Ah!
Ei, olha aqui. Tropa. Ei, moço. Mano, quem é esse cara aí?
Nada tua conta, rapaz.
Vai, fudeu! Meu conta eu tenho tomar no cu, pô.
Ela não desgruda dela, meu.
Ei, quem é essa cara aí?
Convidado nosso. Quebra esse otário aí.
Deixa comigo, me dá uma lição nele.
Então, o pai dela não desgruda.
Ladrão, filha da puta! Atrás de inocentes! Vai ver como aparecer contigo mesmo aqui! É aqui que você vai se proteger, caralho! Tá pensando o quê? Hã? Onde é que você vem? Fica aí, caralho! E eu? Se fodeu, filha da puta! Otário! Vai morrer aí, otário! Deixa eu sair daqui, velho!
Ô, segura a porta aí!
Eu vi uma outra versão.
Vamos resolver aquela parada lá, hein?
Demorou.
Chega aí.
Valeu, amigo.
Hey! What are you doing here? Huh? I ask you a question!
Answer him! Answer him!
What are you doing?
What?
What are you doing here?
O que você está fazendo aqui?
What are you doing here?
I don't understand. I can't hear you.
What are you doing here?
Doing
You
here?
hit me in the ear.
Hey, answer me! What are you doing here?
Back in the precinct after all this time. Time to find out what the hell was going on.
Atirem assim que ele estiver na mira! Agora! Dando cobertura! Dois no peito! Um na cabeça! Atenção no braço!
I knew nothing resembling good times lay beyond that gate, but I was gonna have to face the music sooner or later. Figured I'd bag those up for evidence. I guess our little stunt helped some other civic-minded people raise valid concerns about community relations. Their faces said it all. I was on their side, but how could they know that? If they came through that door, I'd be leaving as a human shield and never leaving at all. Luckily for me, for once the police arrived just in time. It sounded like all hell was breaking loose. Whatever nonsense De Silva had pulled, it seemed to be working.
Eu só sei que teve um apagão.
last few prisoners were trapped in here, and more pressingly, seemed I was too. Special Forces painkillers. It was Monday's arrest log, as far as I could tell, and no sign of anybody from Nova Esperanza. All those poor bastards have been checked straight into the Imperial Palace Hotel. That kid had the right idea. There was no point bouncing bullets off that thing. I decided I'd try to pick up where he left off. And then immediately regretted that decision. Seemed a crying shame to let that RPG go to waste. Well, wasn't this nice? The perfect end to a perfect trip. If someone had told me 6 months ago this was where my life was headed, I'd have ordered a double of whatever they were drinking, drunk it, then blown my head off.
Porra, você tá tentando fazer?
Another dark, rainy night. Another police station, another futile crusade for amends. Time moves forward, and nothing changes. Every bastard in the joint must have known I was on the loose by now. I couldn't afford to waste any more time.
Agora a tua vez! Caralho! Isso é um cara morto! Ah, você
Police food, the same crap the world over. But I could reminisce about the old days later. For now, there was more pressing matters to deal with. Becker's blood money from the good doctor. Serrano had canceled one side of that transaction. The other was on me. They'd come from the control room. It looked like the security cameras were still running. It looked like the prisoners were giving them a run for their money. That's what happens when you hand some roided-up halfwit a commando uniform with special on the front and let him ride around his hometown in a tank playing soldiers. Sooner or later, someone's gonna decide he's not so special. There were a bunch more in the elevator, tooled up like they were about to roll into Fallujah. And of course, they were headed my way. The heat was rising. That meant I was getting closer to the source. I had to keep moving. Seemed the anti-drug squad had a few habits of its own. I saw the elevator doors were open. If there was one thing I learned since being in São Paulo, it was that me and the local elevators were not a good mix. Whatever depressing fate lay on the other side of those doors, there was no point in putting it off any longer.